Amen.
Amen. And thank you very much, Jafta. So again, welcome on behalf of the Radiology Interest Group Africa, specifically the Ghana chapter. This program is the fourth of the Radiology Residency series. And as we're all aware, the theme is charting your path, building a fulfilling career in radiology. So this event is designed to inspire and equip medical students, residents, and radiologists to discover and confidently navigate their unique career paths in this dynamic field of radiology. So you're welcome. But before we go on, I'll be quick to say that this meeting has been immensely supported by our local partners, which include the Ghana Association of Doctors in Residency, GADOR, the Federation of the Ghana Medical Students Association, FGMSC, Imagine Ed Imaging, LPC, and also proudly sponsored by Coats and Scraps. So talking about sponsorship, one fun thing that will be happening tonight is that the medical schools, the medical school with the most participating students will be getting a prize or an award. They'll be getting 20% discount on all Coats and Scraps products from now until the end of the year. And sorry, there will be special prizes for their publicity reps as well. So during the course of the meeting, there will be a poll that will be taken to see those who are on the Zoom. So if you're medical students, please be on the lookout to pick your school so that you stand a chance of winning. And please, if you're an alumni, you're not part of the poll, so please, no cheating. Just before we introduce the speaker, we'll take a solidarity message from our sister association in the UK. I think we're having some technical challenges. We'll work on the audio.
Passion for advanced care. And hello everyone, my name is Sarah and I'm UK representative for Radiology Interest Group Africa. I'm delighted to welcome you on behalf of UK RIGAF team. A special welcome to our colleague joining us from Ghana, and we are so excited to having you joining the conference. RIGAF was founded to connect radiologists, trainees, and healthcare professionals who share passion for advanced care imaging across Africa and UK. And by joining us, you will benefit from educational sessions, from opportunities for research and collaboration, and mentorship links with healthcare professionals and trainees across UK and also across Africa. And we build together a supportive community that improve our experience as professionals and also patient experience. And so once again, thank you so much for joining us and enjoy the conference.
Thank you very much, Surah. So that was our UK RIGAF representative with their solidarity message. So I'm excited about this meeting because we're going to hear from one of Ghana's best, Ghana's finest. So as you're all aware, the speaker for tonight is Professor Dabo Sarkodie, and we will take an introduction of the speaker from the FGMSA.
Professor Benjamin Dabo Sarkodie is Ghana's first Associate Professor of Interventional Radiology and a pioneer in advancing minimally invasive image-guided procedures in the region. He currently serves as Associate Professor at the University of Ghana Medical School and as Medical Director and Head of Radiology at Euracare Ghana. A trailblazer in his field, Professor Sarkodie has led several medical firsts in Ghana, including endovascular treatment of brain aneurysms and mechanical thrombectomy for acute stroke. Beyond his clinical excellence, he has been instrumental in building capacity by initiating the first fellowship training program in vascular and interventional radiology in Ghana. Professor Sarkodie's career is marked not only by technical achievement, but also by a deep commitment to mentorship. He's passionate about inspiring the next generation of doctors to see radiology not just as a specialty, but as a fulfilling vocation that combines cutting-edge science, patient impact, and lifelong learning. As former vice president of the Ghana Association of Radiologists, he continues to shape the future of the specialty through training, advocacy, and leadership. At this conference, Professor Sarkodie will share insights from his own journey, charting a path from diagnostic radiology to pioneering interventional practice, and offer practical guidance to young and emerging doctors seeking meaning and fulfillment in their careers.
Thank you very much, FGMSC, for such a wonderful introduction. And so, ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome Professor Benjamin Dabo Sarkodie. Dr. Sarkodie, over to you.
Thank you very much, Adjoa, and thank you for the introduction. That was really magnanimous. It is a real pleasure today to be with you and to share my perspectives and insights on charting a career path in radiology and building a fulfilling career in radiology. With your permission, I think I'll just share my slides. Yes, so thank you once again. And my outline for the talk this evening is just going to be a brief introduction and my background. I think that you have already said a lot about me, and I don't need to repeat some of the things. I will also want to touch on why radiology as a career. I will also zoom on fulfillment, especially in the field of radiology and what we would see as having a fulfilling career. And then I'll share some practical tips that I have learned along the way with some of our younger colleagues. So I graduated from the Kwame Nkrumah University School of Medical Sciences and did my house job at the same institution. Subsequently, I came to Kolebu and started a radiology residency, after which I then also went to do a one-year fellowship at the University of Pennsylvania in diagnostic radiology. Came back home to work and then found my way back again in Singapore, where I did another fellowship in vascular and interventional radiology. As if that was not enough, I had to go around the world again doing further subspecialty in neurointerventional radiology, which also took me through Germany, Korea, India, and also a very structured online program to help me to start that practice also in Ghana in the year 2009. And so that has been my journey. It was interesting. A colleague called me and said, well, I just checked on ChatGPT and I asked the question, who is the most influential interventional radiologist in Africa? And my name was number one. And I don't know how that happened, but certainly I am very passionate about interventional radiology. And I think that it is one of the things I'll be speaking about today. Why we even choose a career in radiology, because if you are not passionate about the subject, then you are in the wrong place. Because for me, if I were to come back to the world tomorrow, I will still choose radiology and choose interventional radiology. Having said that, I do know that there are so many specialties in medicine. Today, perhaps we will lose count if we were to start. It is a similar decision, just like Lionel Messi, who is one of the best footballers in the world in our generation. when he had to take a penalty at the World Cup. You have so many options with this ball. You could go right, you could go to the center, you could go left. And in fact, some people actually end up hitting the ball over the bar. Okay, so it's a similar decision we face as doctors. At a certain point, you are beginning to wonder, what do I specialize in? Where do I choose a career? I was in a similar situation, and sometimes I say, and I've said it many times, that becoming even an interventional radiologist for me was a divine process. I had no control over it because I had actually gone to Thomas Jefferson University in Pennsylvania to go and do my elective program. And this elective program was in urology. That is how much I love urology and internal medicine at the time. And so while I was in the urology department, some guys came there and started passing wires and tubes into somebody's kidneys. We're doing a DJ stand, nephrostomy tubes. And so I approached this tall Chinese guy who was leading the team. And I said, what is this? What are you doing? And then he told me this is a field of medicine called interventional radiology. And this is what we do, minimally invasive treatment of conditions. I said, wow, that sounds interesting. I'm going to reconsider my options. And that led to the birth of interventional radiology in my life. I came back to Ghana and I said, okay, after medical school, I know the pathway, do radiology, and then I can go to interventional radiology. And that is how it started. So I know that many of us are faced with some of these options. But for those of us who have already made that decision, what are some of the considerations and why do we even choose interventional radiology or radiology? For a lot of people, they see us as people who sit in dark rooms reporting images. But we do know that radiology has gone beyond that point. Radiology is at a point where now we are helping other clinicians to make critical clinical decisions. It is like we are now holding the steering wheel and steering the car in the direction of precision and accuracy when it comes to medicine. We are shaping the future of medicine. And why am I saying that? So take a case of a 20-year-old student of University of Ghana who comes to the consulting room with acute onset or sudden onset of right iliac fossa pain. You examine the patient, has rebound tenderness and all the other things you can think about. Yes, appendicitis may be your first diagnosis, but how do you confirm that? A simple ultrasound scan in the hands of the right person will be able to pick up and confirm that diagnosis for you. Of course, we are not replacing clinicians. We are not replacing clinical studies, examination of the patient, history taking, no. But we help to confirm some of those diagnoses so that we can help to treat the patient with more precision and accuracy. And so as I reflect on my own career in radiology, I ask myself, what are some of the reasons why some people even choose radiology? For some people, it is intellectually stimulating because radiology involves almost every organ in the body. And we dissect every specialty, be it medicine, be it pediatrics, gynae, wherever we are there. We help to make diagnoses, we help to make clinical judgment and decisions, and we guide and shape the practice of medicine wherever we find ourselves. Some people also like it because we are in the center of patient care. And why are we in the center? For reasons that I gave already, the examples that I gave. A patient comes to you, you have taken your history, you have examined that patient, and you want to confirm your diagnosis. The radiologist is right in the center. And for some people, that is hugely exciting for them. So the fact that they play that central role in the patient care is a big motivation why they want to be radiologists. Radiology is another beautiful specialty of medicine where technology, innovation, and medicine intersect. Can you imagine the beauty of the MRI, the beauty of that ultrasound machine in your hands, making diagnosis? These days, we are adapting AI into our practice. And people have even said that AI is going to replace radiologists. Thank God till now, nobody is seeing that happening because AI cannot take responsibility for a patient. And beyond that, AI for us and for many of us is an adjunctive tool. It is a complementary tool. It is a tool that we will use to do pre-screening. It is a tool that we use to help what we do, but not to replace what we do. If you were on the flight from Kotoka flying to, let's say, New York City, and they told you that, oh, today your pilot is an AI, there's nobody steering that plane. And so we are just going to take off from Accra and land in New York. Everything's under AI. I'm not sure how many of you will confidently say that you are going on that flight. The same with radiology. I mean, would you sit down there and say, oh, let the AI just diagnose my appendicitis? I mean, what if you need some information? What if you need extra details, even extra scan that will help you to come to a conclusion? And so technology and innovation for us is exciting, and it helps us to be able to take care of our patient. Radiology also offers us that opportunity to subspecialize. It offers us various opportunities in intervention, opportunities in musculoskeletal neuroradiology, pediatric oncology, and various aspects of medicine. And so for some people, it is exciting. This was my own reason why I got drawn into interventional radiology, that subspecialty opportunity that I could do interventional radiology after a diagnostic radiology training. For some people, and I've heard this, it's a work-life balance relationship. Because with radiology, you can even sit at home and do your reporting. And you do it accurately. You don't have to sit in the traffic all the way for 2 hours to come and report an image. You can sit in the comfort of your home and you can do reporting. Again, you can even decide what time you do this reporting. You can even choose weekend. You can choose the night. So there's a bit of flexibility. And so for some people, they think that this work-life balance is a big motivation. And I've heard a lot of women telling me, oh, this is why they want to go into radiology. So there are various reasons. And of course, we are not even talking about financial reward because, again, for the radiologist, if you are somebody who wants to work hard, you can also get more reward because the more you work, the more you are able to make more money. And that is also a big motivation for some people. Now, if you are a radiologist or if you are considering becoming a radiologist, how will you achieve or how will a fulfillment in that career look like for you? Okay. First of all, I think I already mentioned that radiology is rewarding, especially for people who want to work hard, because with teleradiology means that I can sit in Accra and even do reporting for Nigeria. I can take on additional reporting duties from other countries, especially when you are certified. So you have a West Africa College certification, for example, you can report for any and every country within the sub-region. So you can sit here and report for Abuja, or sit here and report from a degree, and that is another beauty with radiology. Of course, the title radiologist is also exciting for a lot of people. And the fact that I have gone to school, specialized, and I'm a radiologist, and the financial reward, those are all very, very good things to look up to. However, fulfillment goes beyond these things that we are talking about. And for some of us, fulfillment also comes when we know that we can impact our patient care. We can impact the society in which we live in, and even advance knowledge to others, other doctors, other patients. And for us, that is so much fulfilling. How about growth? We can become better at our professional abilities. We can become better people every year. We can take on more courses. As you know, radiology is very dynamic. I don't know of any radiologist who will say that he's not doing continuous medical education, because then you'll be left behind several miles, because it's a dynamic area. And so every time you have to keep up. So it presents opportunities for us to grow. And that, for me, is so fulfilling. How about impartation, like what we are doing today? Passing on some of the wisdom, some of the skill and opportunities to a younger generation, for the next generation, to the medical student, for that doctor in residency, for that doctor in fellowship. And for me, nothing is more exciting than that. Okay, so when we talk about being fulfilled, it is not just about the pocket. It is not just about the title. It is about what impact we are making in the lives of our patients. If we cannot make any impact, then believe me, there is no motivation and there's no reason for us to even be here as radiologists. So impacting our society, making sure that we help to pick up even diseases early enough, infectious diseases in this part of our world. We know there's kind of tuberculosis and all the infectious diseases. WHO says that in Africa, cardiovascular diseases and cancers are also rising because now people are living longer. The average life expectancy has increased. And so we are also now bedeviled with things like non-communicable diseases, things like cancers. And so even the role of radiology is getting better and bigger by the day. And so it is an opportunity for us to impact this society. Breast cancer, October is around the corner. Having that ability to be able to diagnose somebody in the early stage, to pick up those stigmata of disease and say that these symptoms or these signs are likely suggestive of CEO of the breasts, and therefore early intervention saves somebody's life. I don't know of anything that is more fulfilling and more exciting than us having the ability to do some of these things and to save people from disease progression. And so when we talk about fulfillment in our career, for me, especially when I see that patient come with subarachnoid hemorrhage, sometimes they come with hemiplegia, sometimes they come with all sort of neurological symptoms. If you are able to do successful coiling for those patients and they come back to you, now they are walking, they are talking, the smiles on their faces, nothing gives me greater joy than that. You have a patient who was about 40 years old, who had CA rectum, had it resected, later developed metastasis to the portal hepatis. Patient developed jaundice, was itching every night. And when he came to see me, he said, "Doctor, I am a newly wedded man. In the nights, instead of me enjoying the warmth of my wife has to scratch my back all night. And you should see the scratch marks on the body of this patient. And this is a guy who could not even withstand anesthesia. They couldn't clear him to have a bypass. I took that patient in and put in a stent. And the guy never aged from that day till he passed. So improving lives, making lives better for families, and putting those smiles on the faces of the patient, for me, is one of the biggest fulfillments in my career. And so those are ways that I would define fulfillment of my career. Okay? And those are big moments for me, any day, anytime. Having said that, what are some of the practical steps that we can have, or I suggest for our younger colleagues, medical students, residents, fellows, and even radiologists? I say that, especially for those in training, you have to build a very strong foundation in the basics. Because when you start a radiology residency, you will come to realize that you do courses like anatomy, pathology, physics. Okay, there's a course that we call clinical pathological correlations, where you look at how disease patterns are seen on gross pathology or slides, and then you look at how these same diseases are seen on imaging. And it's a beautiful course. It's one of the courses that gives you a very clear understanding of that relationship between the clinical or the pathology and imaging. Okay, physics helps you to understand some of the basics of our imaging, from X-ray to MRI to CT scan. So having a strong basics in these areas is really, really helpful. I also encourage that people engage and involve themselves in research. Research is not only for those of us in academia. It is not for only lecturers, professors, and the likes. Research helps us to answer questions. If you are going to stay in a department for 4 years, you can at least certainly observe certain things that you can try to research on. And with these days, even AI and all sort of things are going on. So we should build bridges and alliances with people who are involved in research. Okay, that gives us a better understanding of the topic. Again, if you were coming to residency and I look at your CV and I see that you have dedicated some time to research, I'll be more than happy to engage someone like that than someone who has never done anything in radiology. And so engaging yourself in research is very, very important. Ask yourself some research questions, get some senior people, senior colleagues, partner them, and do some research. I have students at the University of Ghana Medical School who are doing research with me, even in a medical school. So we have no excuse not to be involved in research. We should also engage in presentations and publications. So when you see a conference coming up, you could send your abstracts. You could talk to a senior colleague and say, oh, this year, the Ghana Association of Radiologists, I would like to speak on a topic. Do you have a suggestion? Is there a topic that you would want me to speak on? Or is there a topic that you will help me to speak on? When I was a student in the University of Pennsylvania doing fellowship, I came across a case which we followed up. At a point, we even thought it was a tuberculoma because it was a ring-enhancing lesion in the brain. Later on, when they did surgery and removed the lesion, we followed up to pathology. And for the first time, they were diagnosing a condition called Kikuchi's disease. And Kikuchi's disease had never been reported in the brain. So we were all baffled. So what kind of disease is this? My professor, Alexander Memorian, that's his name, helped me, and we wrote a beautiful case report. And that year, I presented a paper at the American Society of Neuroradiology. And that was my first experience. And it was a big stage, about 2,000 people. So sometimes when you have partnerships, alliances with colleagues and senior colleagues, it becomes very easy for you to engage in some of these things. The key is for you to show some passion. It's for you to show some interest. Because most times the consultant may not even come and call you and say, oh, do you want to do a presentation or do you want to do a publication? But if you came up and say that, I want to do this, and I have a few residents and even some radiologists now who did publications and presentations with me while they were in training. And that has gone a long way to help. So it is another area that I feel we should focus on. Again, subspecialty interests. I was lucky to even know interventional radiology before radiology. So if you start early and have a subspecialty interest in mind, as you work towards your program and your career, you always have it at the back of your mind, and that sort of motivates you to try and go to the finish line. Because there are a lot of people who may finish a residency program and may not want to even continue again because it is already a long walk. And once you finish one, you think that, okay, it's over, I'm done, enough. But if you cultivate that interest early in your life, the whole time as you are making progress, it stays with you, and you will always remember that this is what you really want to do. Another thing I spoke about already was valuing your work-life balance. As I mentioned, if you think radiology is an easy course, please, you're in the wrong place. If you think, I have people who have come to the program and have left because they thought radiology was a bed of roses. Believe me, radiology is one of the toughest residencies that you ever come across anywhere in the world. Okay? So it is not a place where people come and sleep. Neither is it a place for any radiologist to sleep. Radiologists are very, very, very hardworking people. And you find them everywhere trying to report. Sometimes you are driving and they call you about a case. They want to know, and you have to stop in the middle of the road, find somewhere to park, log into your park system to try and look at this image and relay to the doctor what is going on. Another thing I find interesting is building relationships, building bridges with other colleagues in other areas. So whenever they need a second opinion, they are coming to you. They will say, okay, I have this case which has been reported. I remember a time ago when one of our neurosurgeon, Dr. Akuto, sent a case to me and said, Ben, this case has been reported as a brain tumor. But looking at the images, I feel this looks like an aneurysm rather than a tumor. Can you re-look at these images? And 100% he was right. It was a brain aneurysm and it wasn't a tumor, So sometimes building this relationship with our other colleagues, working together, really helps us to build a fulfilling career and to help build trust between us and our other colleagues. Another thing I suggest, which I haven't mentioned yet, is mentorship. These days, it is actually very difficult to even find a mentor because believe me, everybody wants you to mentor them. So for some of us, what we do is to do some sort of group mentoring so that you can have about 10 people, you meet them once in a while and try to help them along their career. But it is very extremely difficult because people are already very busy. Because guess what? You have a family life, you have a work life. Some of us even have a golf life. Okay, we do some sports along the line. So it is extremely a busy period. We are extremely busy people, and it will be difficult to say that, oh, I'm sitting down with you every day to do mentorship. But when we do the group mentoring, or when you get the slightest opportunity, you come to us, we sit together. Some of you have even gone to lunch with you. When I teach, sometimes those who are very passionate, those who show me that they are reading and they are actually involved in radiology, I'll take some of you out for lunch and we do all sort of things just to sit down and try to mentor and also build some interests in you for radiology. And so mentorship is extremely important, but I also understand the limitations and the difficulties of finding a mentor. But it is one thing that everybody should try to find, because having somebody who has walked a particular path guide you on that path is always a win for you, because it will help you avoid some of the mistakes that a person would have made along the line. So that is extremely important. When all these things are done, for me, this is how victory looks like, okay? You see how this was Tottenham when they won the Europa League last season, Son Heung-min and Solanke. So this is how victory looks like in a fulfilling career when you lift that trophy, a trophy that you have helped so many patients in your life, you have impacted so many people. This is how the feeling is. Thank you very much, and I'll pause here for any questions.
Wow.
Ajwa, over to you.
Yes, Prof. Thank you so much. I can see all the clapping hands. I think I need to see more of those hands. This has been quite an insightful presentation. Thank you so much. My key take home, I'm sure a lot of us have many wise nuggets that we are carrying away from here. Mine is that if you want a soft life with intellectual stimulation, then radiology is the way to go. It's going to provide you with so much variety of subspecialties. I mean, it's a specialty to go to if you're somebody who is not even sure what specialty to go into. And I always tell people that if pediatrics or ONG is like a planet, radiology is like a galaxy. So it gives you that variety. You can never be bored. Thank you so much, Professor Sarkodie, for this presentation. So it's question time. Please put in your questions in the chat box. But if you'd also want to ask it yourself, you can raise your hand and we'll call you. And before I read out the questions, if you're interested in having more of these kind of resources, also being part of a community where you're constantly being informed about stuff in radiology, do also join the RAGAF community. The link has been put in the chat box. And also one fun thing I didn't also mention is that after this program, everyone is going to get a certificate of participation. So there'll be a link for you to do an evaluation, and we will send you the certification. So Professor Sarkodie is going to answer questions. And if your friends have not joined yet, please do also call them to join. There's still more to learn. All right, so I'll move on to the first question. It's coming from Dr. Rabba El Amin. She says, as imaging becomes more central in diagnosis and treatment, do you think radiologists now carry more responsibility than before? How do you see this evolving in your daily practice?
Yeah, so that is a good question. I think that imaging has now been adopted worldwide into our clinical practice. And yes, it's getting more challenging because now we are getting to learn some of the disease patterns per imaging and giving a very accurate diagnosis. So, for example, in the past, maybe it was easy to see something and start listing differential diagnosis, give about 6 of them, 5 of them, and yeah, the job is done. These days, we are getting to the level where we want to say that the imaging features are quite consistent with a particular condition. We are almost like doing radiological pathology, if you like, getting to the level where you now not just list differentials and run away, but to the point where you want to really nail the diagnosis. So sometimes you see that some patients will even come and say, okay, do an MRI, do CT for the same patient, and even do maybe X-ray. So sometimes 3 images for one patient because you want to nail that diagnosis. We don't want to just give you a list of differentials and leave it to you. Of course, that is still part of a strong foundation for radiology. However, we are moving to that stage where we want to do precision reporting, precision radiology, and give you much more control of the patient.
Thank you very much, Prof. Dr. Chukwuka has a question on the work-life balance. I think you touched a bit on it. His question is, how's the work-life balance of interventional radiology? I don't know if you would want to add anything extra to what you said earlier.
I'll just say that the work balance, especially for interventional radiology, is a bit more demanding because we are few. We are almost like an extinct species anywhere in the world. So we tend to overwork and we tend to do a lot more. And especially if you find yourself in situations where you are alone or working with just another person, then it means that you are on call 24/7. Okay, so there are times where I was out of the country and patients flew me back because I had to do something. Thank God now I have other people around who can also help. And when I go on vacation with my family or my children, I don't need to be flown back here to come and do some of those cases because now our training program, which was the first in the sub-region, has produced graduates and we continue to offer training. And so hopefully in the near future, it will be better. But at this point in time, it can be very difficult because it is quite demanding and you always are on call.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Dr. Peterside has a number of questions. Okay, so the first one is, how does one get a strong background in radiological physics, considering the fact that radiology was not taught extensively during medical school? How does one cope with the physics aspect of radiology during residency training?
Well, the little I would say is that some of us were lucky. We had some physics background right from pre-university and all of that. But the physics in radiology is not like rocket science physics. It is quite basic. And with a bit of hard work and a bit of commitment, everybody is able to scale around that kind of physics. So it is not your high scientific physics kind of thing. It is very basic. And I think that almost everybody I know in the radiology department, with the help of our physics lecturers, has always helped us to scale that. So it hasn't been a very difficult challenge.
Okay, and to add to that, you can always join the Radiology Interest Group Africa page if you need resources or any help in your physics. There are people there to assist you. So please keep your questions coming in, and remember that you can also raise your hand to be called to answer to ask your questions. And if you joined in late, there is a poll for the medical students, there's a competition as to which medical school is the most represented. So do all to click on your school so that you ensure that your school is part of the winning team. So Dr. Bisasai's second question, he says interventional radiology fellowship programs are scarce in Nigeria and other countries in Africa. Can you please list out some of the countries and centers in Africa and Asia, including India, Singapore? I think you mentioned those, where one can apply for a 1 to 2 year fellowship program, as Europe and American fellowships are extremely expensive and competitive to get into. All right, so with this question, Prof, maybe we'll contact you subsequently and then we can post the list on the RIGAF pages for people to get access to it. So this question is from Dr. Antu. He says, good evening, Prof. Thanks greatly for your presentation. How much time does it take to become an interventional radiologist? What are the job prospects?
Yeah, thank you for that. So basically, it takes you about 4 years to do your membership or up to the fellowship level, whether with West Africa College or Ghana College. Then there is an additional 2 years of fellowship in interventional radiology. So give and take about 6 years, thereabout.
Okay, all right. This question is from Dr. Esther. She says, thank you for the presentation. Will AI push radiologists out of their jobs? I think you mentioned a bit of it, but maybe you can elaborate it a bit more.
Ajwa, I cannot hear you. I'm not sure if I've lost you.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, please. So Dr. Esther was asking whether AI will push radiologists out of their jobs. I think you talked a bit about that during your presentation, but if you could elaborate more for him.
Hello.
Hello, Prof. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. Yes. So the question is on AI, if I heard you right, and
Yes, if
whether
it will
it puts
push.
radiologists out of work.
Mm-hmm.
I think I already touched on that. I don't believe it. I think that AI is a complementary tool for radiologists, at least for now. That's how we see it. We don't know how far it will go. It is possible, but as we see it now, it doesn't look likely because ultimately somebody must be responsible for the patient, and AI cannot take that responsibility. So for us, we see it more like a complementary tool rather than a competing tool. So again, I cannot predict the future. That is just my layman's view, that I think that we'll continue to be in business. Now that even imaging requirements are growing globally, I think what it will rather do is to help us to pre-screen things like mammography, breast CAs, lung CAs, coronary artery diseases. All those software will help us to be able to screen, but I'm not sure it will replace radiologists entirely.
Okay, thank you, Prof. So Esther, how do we get the recording? Yes, the program is being recorded, and please join the RIGAF pages. We'll put the link there, and I think the link will come with your certification after you fill in the evaluation form. So Kofi Nyakon says, thank you for the presentation. I heard that radiology is no longer financially rewarding. How true is that?
I have never heard that. As far as I know, radiology is rewarding, especially for people who want to work hard, because you will not just sit down and the money will come. But if you take out more opportunities, if you add more qualifications to yourself, such that you can stay in Ghana and even be reporting for other countries. So it is hard work. And if you are ready to put in that commitment and that hard work, believe me, it will be very rewarding. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I think we'll take the last questions. Regarding subspecialties, how does one navigate, especially since there aren't so many centers offering radiology subspecialty training? I think this is similar to the initial question on where people can do their their fellowship or subspecialties. But Prof, in relation to that, are there considerations that people should have in mind when they are considering where to do their subspecialties?
Yes, so I agree that it is extremely difficult to get into a good interventional radiology subspecialty fellowship. And especially for those that are accredited, there are very few. I think the gentleman mentioned in Nigeria, I am not even aware that Nigeria has started a formal training. There are informal trainings currently ongoing, but formally, we don't have anything yet. And for other countries where you have formal fellowship training, there's a limitation in terms of the number. Even in Ghana, there's a long waiting queue. Okay, so sometimes it will take you about 2-3 years before you get into the program. And so it is extremely difficult, but I believe that as time goes on, maybe more training centers will open up and we will be able to take more people and increase the number.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you so much. And thank you all for your questions. Thank you all for joining in. I can see that we have some of our senior radiologists in Ghana on the call as well. We've seen Dr. Brako Hiapa, Dr. Babatunde Jima. Thank you so much for making it here. So we will move on from here. I think if you have more questions, you can always join the RIGAF pages and put them on, and we'll be sure to get you responses for that. Thank you very much once again, Prof, for the time. It was quite, I know it must have been difficult squeezing time for this program, and we really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ajwa. And you just mentioned Dr. Jima and Dr. Brakuhiapa, who are both interventional radiologists, are also on the call or the meeting. That is exciting to know. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. And Dr. Juma put in the chat, he says, radiologists who can't use AI will be pushed out of business. AI will not replace radiologists. More reason why you should join the RIGAF community, because we're going to have more conferences on AI, training programs on AI. So you don't want to miss out on that. And Prof also talked about getting involved in research. So that also brings me to telling you about the upcoming annual general meeting of RIGAF, and there's a call for abstract submission as well. So keep your ears on the ground, join the community, and then be updated on how you can submit your abstracts as well. Once again, thank you so much, Prof, for the time. So moving on from here, I've been saying RIGAF from beginning. So what is RIGAF at all? And to tell us a bit more about RIGAF, we have Dr. Sam Ojo, who is one of the founding members of the Radiology Interest Group Africa. He is a second-year registrar with the Northwest School of Radiology in the UK, and he's going to tell us a bit about RIGAF. So while Dr. Sam, you can join in now. You can share your slides if you have any.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so I don't have a slide. I'm just going to talk generally about the community. Thank you, Joa. My name is Sam. Like you said, I'm one of the founding members of RIGAF, and I'm a radiology registrar in the UK at the moment. So RIGAF is Radiology Interests Group Africa. The organization was born out of what we noticed was a paucity of information to medical professionals, especially of African descent, who were looking to pursue a career in radiology in the UK and globally. And generally a lack of awareness of the specialty itself. And the hope is to inspire and support aspirations of, early career doctors, medical students who are looking to pursue a career in radiology. So far, we've been able to do that through provisions of educational opportunities, mentorship, and increasing awareness of the available resources to people who are interested in pursuing a career in radiology. And since our founding, we have thankfully expanded into different African countries. And at the moment, we're essentially, I think what we're doing is creating an African radiology community, which we hope will serve as a sort of a resource center for medical students, aspiring radiology trainees, current radiology trainees, and established consultants, everywhere in the world. And people, especially people who are of African descent, because that was a big gap in sort of information. And this wonderful program that was thankfully, attended by Professor, who has given us quite a brilliant speech about radiology generally, is one of the ways we try to provide services and resources to people who are aspiring to getting into careers in radiology. We have a website. It's regaf.org. You can find more information about us, about our programs, about different things that we've done in the past. There is also a WhatsApp group that we can join. I'm sure there's a link that will be in the chat for anyone who is not part of the group already. We are also on social medias on Instagram, Facebook, X, everywhere, and YouTube as well. So if you need any sort of information, any resources, about radiology, we are trying to provide that to people. So I also want to sort of take any questions anyone might have about the group. Yeah, I think that's everything from me. Any questions anyone might have, I'm happy to answer.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Sam, for joining in at this time. Thank you so much. So if you have any questions about REGAF, please put it in the chat and we'll be here to answer you. So someone was asking, for those who just joined, whether you're going to have access to the recording. Yes, definitely. So please follow the link to join the REGAF community groups, and we'll post a link to the YouTube recordings for you to have access to that. Someone is also asking whether you can have presentations on radiology and AI tools. REGAF is all about radiology, so anything and everything that is going to help us be successful, to be better radiologists, to get into radiology residency programs, whether it's in Africa or outside Africa, we are there to sort you out. So don't miss out on all the opportunities. Do well to join the community. And again, let me reiterate that in October, 25th October, we're going to have the annual general meeting, and there's a call for abstract presentations. You need to get research somewhere on your CV, right? So do well to join the community, get informed, submit your abstracts, and we will take it from there. All right, so can anyone please help with resources for WACS primary exam? Absolutely. We have REGAF also has question banks available as well. So join the community and you are completely sorted out. All your questions will be answered as well. So we're going to move on. We have solidarity messages from our REGAF representatives from Nigeria and Sudan. So we'll start with Dr. Babakde from Nigeria.
Thank you, Dr. Ajua, for making this insightful and spicy webinar happen. This is just to inform every member of REGAF Nigeria in attendance that there will be more coming from REGAF Ghana, as we've had this evening, as well as Sudan, Egypt, and UK. And you really do not need to join every subgroup in REGAF community, as meeting updates would always be forwarded to us on the Nigeria subgroup for those of us in Nigeria. So, and then once the meeting updates are posted there, I want to encourage us all to continually take advantage and participate, just as we are present here tonight. In other words, just as we've done tonight, let us not limit our participation to the program organized by REGAF Nigeria only. This is why no two countries can host two meetings or host meetings concurrently. Let's continually take advantage of all. A little here and there is what makes a radiologist. Thank you once again for coming tonight.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Babaji. So we'll take a message from Dr. Lina from Sudan.
Hello everyone, my name is Lina Ahmed. I am the Sudan RIGAF lead. I would like to thank the professor for this very insightful and informative presentation. I've enjoyed it thoroughly and I'm pretty sure the feeling is mutual. And also I would like to thank the Ghana reps for organizing this event. I look forward to seeing everyone in the future RIGAF programs. I would like to emphasize the point that since RIGAF has different groups from different countries, we always have a variety of programs running. And I think this is quite important because we can all look at resources at different countries and come somehow as a community. I'd also like to encourage everyone to join our upcoming conference. And if you can submit abstracts, I would say go ahead and submit them. And I'm pretty sure if anyone has any questions on the abstracts, you can ask in the RIGAF groups, and I'm pretty sure we can all help you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lina. So I can see there are more questions in the chat. How can I become a RIGAF member? The link is being posted in the chat right now so that you can follow that to become a member. All the answers to all the questions are yes. RIGAF has all the resources you need. And my name is Adjoa. I'm the country rep for Ghana. So the much anticipated part of the program for the medical students, remember at the beginning, we said that we're taking a poll to see the highest participating medical school because there is a sponsorship from Coats and Scraps that the school that wins the polls is going to get 20% discount on all products from now till the end of the year. And the publicity representatives are also going to get some special prizes. So I think the polls are over and it looks like when we mention your school, if your school won, we need to see the clapping hands in the yeah. So the winning school for the poll goes to KNUST. I'm not excited about that because that's not my school, but well done, guys. We want to take this as an opportunity to appreciate all the representatives from all the medical schools. They've done a really great job these past days mobilizing their people. And this is also to say that we need to have representatives in all the medical schools. So there'll be a link on the RIGAF pages for you to apply, you go through interviews, and then we'll take it from there. So if you're interested, please do well to follow the links for that. So all too soon, we are coming to the end of the program. I also want to thank the country representatives from UK, Dr. Sura, from Nigeria, Dr. Babakide, Lina from Sudan, and Dr. Sam Ojo for joining us in this program. So we will take the vote of thanks from the FGMSC President, Dr. Otters, and we'll be rounding up the program.
All right, good evening. You're medical students. So, anyways, so on behalf of the RIGAF and the Federation of Ghana Medical Students Association, it's my honor to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all who made it to today's session, getting to Radiology series possible. First, our sincere gratitude goes to our distinguished speaker, Professor Benjamin Sarkodie, for sharing his experience, wisdom, and inspiration with us. Your words have not only enlightened us, but also encouraged many to dream bigger into the field of radiology. And to our partners, that's the Ghana Association of Doctors in Residency and Imagined Imaging and all collaborators, we are grateful for walking this journey with us. To our sponsor, that's Coats and Scraps, I really hope that this prize had come to my school, that is UCCSMS, but fine, that's okay. Thank you for your generous support. And finally, to all students and professionals who joined us this evening, whether from far or near, thank you for your time, your energy, and your commitment to learning. We leave here today inspired, reminded that indeed we can chart meaningful and fulfilling paths in radiology and beyond. Thank you all, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Otters. I almost called him Doctor. Well, he's a senior medical student, so almost out of school. And guys, thank you so much for making the time on a Sunday evening to join us. It's been lovely having you here, and we hope you join us in the upcoming programs as well. Don't forget to join the RIGAF community to stay up to date on all our programs that are coming up. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening and a wonderful week ahead. Bye.
Bye. Hello.
Bye.
Oh, the evaluation form. Please fill the evaluation form to get your certificates.
Yeah.
Please fill the evaluation forms to get your certificates. Thank you.
Okay, Stajua, please. Please, Stajua.